Hi everybody, I'm Rob Lewis. Today we're going to take a look at the Crossfire 8 Arctic Cat. It's a 2009 model, and I'm so glad we got it up here on the mountain because Andrew, your cameraman, on the way up here, he gets a little bit crazy, too much throttle, he rolls it over. But look at this, one tough machine, we can still do the review. That's a beautiful thing. Come on, take a closer look. I'm going to show you some really cool stuff on this Crossfire. Well, before I go getting hyper and running around the machine and showing you this and showing you that, you're thinking, what the heck is a Crossfire, right? Yeah, we've reviewed M's in the past, but we've never reviewed a Crossfire. Well, I'll tell you, about 15% of the riders that are on the M series sleds or other mountain sleds probably would be better off on a Crossfire. Why is that? Because it crosses over from a mountain sled to a great trail sled. How is it a better trail sled than an M? Well, it's wider in the front end. It's adjustable ski stance from 42 inches to 44 inches. It's also got a stabilizer bar that goes from one side to the other to hook the left and the right suspension together. So if you're flying around a corner, it keeps the machine level instead of tipping and wanting to pack a ski. So the M series are narrower and they'll want to lift and tip more, so not quite as stable. So it gives you the trail stability. The other thing is it's got a 141 inch track, which is quite a bit shorter than the M's because they come in 153 or 162. This one comes in 141 this year for 2009. It extended from last year's model, which was a 136. So now we got perfect. We got a machine that will do the thing. It'll cross over from powder mountain riding, but yet still be very stable, fast through the bumps, handle great on the trails. Well, let me explain the graphics on this. This is called the Urban Camo graphic. Absolutely cool graphic, but it's available as a spring guarantee model. It's a Snow Pro model. Also available is different CC sizes in the Crossfire, all the way from 6 clear up to 1,000. So you have the 6, the 8, the 1,000. And then there's also different color choices. There's a black and green, which is a standard edition. There's a Snow Pro model that has all the Fox float shocks and everything, and that one's orange and white. Well, I mentioned before that probably 15% of the people, if they rode this thing back to back with an M or a mountain sled, would probably prefer the Crossfire over that. And the reason for that is it's got the crosslink in here, as I mentioned before, to help stabilize the machine. It's also shorter and more nimble. And I gotta tell you, I've let my gorgeous wife ride this thing. Yeah, absolutely, she does not want to get off of it. It's nimble, it's easy for her to ride, it feels light to her, she's really enjoying it. I think you would too if you tried it. As I mentioned, the skis are adjustable from 42 to 44 inches wide. All you have to do is remove the ski bolt right here, change the little spacer washers from side to side. So if you move them to the outside, it narrows the ski stance up. If you move them to the inside, it widens it out. Very nice feature, easily adjustable. Now I've got to show you the steering post on this thing. This is absolutely my favorite feature of this snowmobile. It is completely adjustable, so you can go 3/4 of an inch lower than last year's sled. You can also go 2 3/4 of an inch higher than last year's sled, and 3/8 of an inch all the way in between. So it is absolutely going to fit every rider. Simply just take and squeeze from the top to the bottom tab together. You can drop the handlebar down, you can pull the handlebar all the way up, or decide whatever you want anywhere in between. So regardless of how high, how tall you are, how hard you ride, the trail condition, the powder condition, you can set the handlebars up for your style of riding. Well, under the hood, what makes this thing go forward is the 800cc laydown engine. As I mentioned before, this comes in many cc ranges, but this one is an 800cc laydown style. What is the laydown style? Well, it takes the cylinders and the pistons and the mass weight, the crankshaft, everything, it rotates it to the back and down of the snowmobile, so it keeps the center of gravity extremely low. Down about where your feet are in the footboards is where the major weight of the snowmobile is, with the motor and the clutches and everything that's rotating. So when you move your body weight, the snowmobile is going to respond to your movement. So that makes it very nimble in the powder conditions, which you want on a good crossover machine like the Crossfire. In addition to that, let me show you these clutches. Your drive clutch and your driven clutch are also down very low. It does not use a chain case or a jack shaft, which mounts the driven clutch way up here, which acts like a gyro and keeps the weight feeling high. This is down very, very low. It goes through a diamond drive gear case, which is gear to gear and then straight into the drive shaft. Increases the efficiency by 7%, also keeps that weight low for great handling. Well, now I've got to go over some of the awesome Arctic Cat accessories that you can put on the snowmobile. This is the funnest thing I've ever seen. Take a look at this. I call it my little goggle microwave. When you're out in the powder and you're a cold day and your goggles ice up and stuff, what a better place to put it, or you couldn't make a better place to put it than right here. You got a a nice little pouch to put your goggles in, so the heat off the pipe will thaw out the goggles, it'll melt the ice. So when you stop, just keep a spare pair of goggles with you, keep rotating them. You take your icy ones off, you put them in the bag, you put your fresh ones on, nice, warm, toasty, you continue to ride. Comfort in snowmobiling, that's what it's all about. Another nice accessory that I really enjoy, I've used these for a number of years, is a dash bag. So this dash bag has a couple of pockets, one here and one here. So it's a nice place to keep your soda, keep your water, keep your candy bars, keep another pair of gloves or anything, and it's nice, easy access to get to. Now this bag on the back is an accessory as well, but this is extremely well thought out. One thing you'll notice on the Arctic Cat snowmobiles, it's the only remaining snowmobile out there that still has storage on the trunk. So when you put a bag on it, you don't want to make that go to waste. So what Arctic Cat has done with their accessory bag is you unzip this portion of the bag here, lay open this, and then it goes right back into the original access or into the back of the seat, so that you got more access and you'll be able to utilize the seat storage. Side pockets, both sides, so a ton of cargo can go in that. Make a nice little day trip out on the trail with this machine, and plenty of place to put your stuff. As I mentioned before, the Crossfire has a 141-inch track, so that's more than enough footprint for some crossover riding, some good powder riding, some trail riding. Now what we've done here is we've opted to go with the Power Claw conversion. So you can go to your dealer and they can actually convert the standard 1.5 inch tall paddle on the 141 if you're going to do more powder riding than you are trail riding. You can go to the Power Claw 2 1/4, 141, or if you're going to do a combination of both, the track that comes standard on this machine is the Maverick 1.5 inch by 141 track, which also is a phenomenal track. It also has a Fox float rear skid, so just like its kin to the M, it has the same type of tunnel, it has the same type of rear suspension. It's been shortened up in the back to make good powder flotation, good maneuverability. It's got the same floorboard right here, so you can stomp the snow through. So it has a lot of those same traits that we found has made the M phenomenal. Put it over on the Crossfire, so you'll have the similar riding experience to the M. Oh, and how could I forget about one of the most important features of this snowmobile? Check this out. Engine reverse. So no more gear cases to move to get the machine to go reverse. It's got engine reverse. You simply start the machine, push the button, the engine stalls, rotates in the opposite direction, and then you can back up. Check this out. Well, I don't know what else to talk about, and since I'm already standing on the machine in the perfect position, minus my helmet, that's all I gotta do is grab it. I'm gonna go ride it. We'll go through some of the maneuvers, so follow me. We'll see what you think. The Crossfire 8 is actually an incredibly good powder boondocking machine. I could tell the difference in the extra width on the stance since this one is set up at 42 inches wide. But because it's so short at 141, it's not overpowering. So I could still pull it up on the ski. I mean, I was able to demonstrate the side hilling ability of this machine. It's absolutely simple to do. But coming down off of the hill at higher speeds, the width was an added stability. No question about it. The machine sat flat, so I love that about it. It is a very, very flat handling machine. The power for an 800 is really good. Throttle response is right now. It's fuel injected motor, so as soon as you touch the throttle, it goes. You head up a hill and it pulls really hard. If you have to back out to make a maneuver, get back in the throttle, it back shifts very quick and picks up instant RPM again. So even though it's a crossover machine, so it does the mountains well and it does the trails very well. It's clutched very, very close for mountain type riding, and the acceleration is very quick on the trail. So they've done a good job of finding the perfect balance. Another thing I noticed too is with it being 141 and being shorter, the transfer weight of the machine is very easy. So if you're going up a hill, all you have to do is stand back and it gets the skis out of the snow very easy because it is shorter. So it transfers the power around very, very well, or the weight distribution for ultimate traction very well. To rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, again, it's got a 141 track. I'd have to rate that for its size a perfect 10. It feels like a much longer machine. It has great traction there. The machine itself, it's a good solid 9 as well, just because there's always room for improvement for next year. Well, thanks again for riding along with me and taking a look at the Crossfire 8 today. If you want to take a closer look at your dealership, take a look at any one of the 6 participating AYL dealers and they'll give you more details.